Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Return to KSP in 2025. Sorry for the long pause. Over the last several weeks, been trying to figure out some other mods, understanding them a little bit better, working with the MKS on different chains, orbital shipyards, different configurations, trying to eventually be able to set up a base somewhere, either in orbit or on the surface of a moon, to be able to create ships to make it a little easier to explore the Kerbin and eventually go into interstellar travel. So that took a little bit of time, but now we're back. This here is our Duna Lander Probe, which is our second lander probe that we sent to Duna. The mission is to basically collect samples on the surface and return to Kerbin. We are in orbit. We launched this probe a little while ago. I have it in orbit, and now we're just going to go ahead and set up a maneuver node to land on the surface, collect the data, and then take off and set up our return trajectory in this episode. So the idea here is going to try to land in the poles biome of Duna, collect some data. We got our maneuver node configured, and the one thing that I'm a little concerned about, as you can see, the probe itself, the design is quite tall, so that means once we land, it could be a little unstable because the landing legs are fairly narrow. So I did do this once other time, and it did tip over and basically destroy the probe. So here I'm hoping to find a little more of a flat slope and to be able to land. And the other thought I had was, as soon as I touched down, trying to enable the ground tethers on the landing legs to help provide some stability to prevent it from tipping over. So go ahead and set up the maneuver node. Go ahead and start our suborbital trajectory down to the surface of Duna. Slow up, and I'm going to try to, right now we're targeting the highlands area, but we're going to try to change that to the pools. I think it's going to be a little more flat. As you can see there, we just depleted the upper stage, which we used to basically transfer from Kerbin to Duna and enter into orbit. The fuel is spent, so we're going to inject that. And so on this stage here, this should have enough fuel to basically land on the surface and then take off and re-enter into orbit. Might have a little bit left over to start the transfer back to Kerbin, but this will be the main stage they'll be using for the rest of the mission. So I'm going to continue the burn here, try to get the impact or the landing site to the poles, and then I'm going to start looking at different sites, trying to find something a little more flat. see here, I'm trying to look at the Kerbal Engineer, looking for some slopes. Right now the slopes are 15 or higher degrees, which is not good. I like to get something under 5. So I'm kind of just moving around trying to find something. As you can see here, I found something around 2 or 3, bouncing around to 4 or 5. So I'm going to try to keep my landing target around that area while I'm trying to slow up. So you can see here, that's why I'm kind of moving the ship back and forth to try to find the sweet spot on the slope here. About 20 meters from the surface, getting ready to hit the ground tether. Once I touch down, hopefully that will help with the, let's see, yeah, alright, so that helped. Didn't tip over. I am on a slant, but hopefully it'll stay here, and once I release that, we won't tip over as we take off. But now I'm just going to start collecting the data. I'm going to store the goo and the material studies, and try to transmit everything else for 100%. So just take a minute here to finish up the collection and transmitting of science data. Okay, now I'm about ready to take off. I'm going to just slow the arrays so they don't break off, and head basically into a 90-degree heading, and try to get into roughly a 100-meter run from our orbit around Duna. Kind of staging orbit, waiting for the transfer window to open back up for Kerbin. So let's go ahead and continue our ascent here. Orbit around Duna. finishing our circularization burn here. Got about 100 meters per second left, and we're going to get into a 100 kilometer orbit. So then after we finish this burn, we'll go ahead and start configuring and finding out when the node is for to do the return burn back to Kerbin. So we'll use MechJeb here and set Kerbin as the target and find the optimal window for the lowest delta V. We still have over 3,000 meters per second, which is plenty to do the return trajectory. I do want to save some to help maybe brake and slow up as we're approaching Kerbin to keep the heating in the atmosphere a little bit lower if I can. But let's go ahead and set the target to Kerbin, and I'm going to go ahead and select the lowest delta V and find out when the window is to do the burn to return to Kerbin. Okay, looks like the burn is in about 100 days. So we'll go ahead and configure and create the node, and in about 100 days we'll return and do the burn and set up the transfer, return transfer to Kerbin. You see here we have an encounter, which is good. Now I think this is about it for this episode. Again, I just want to thank everybody for watching. If you have any suggestions, please feel free to add a comment. If you like the video, please hit the like or subscribe button. And again, thanks for watching.